Bonjour and welcome to the Maritime Alps in southeastern France and the next country and setup guide. Here we find the Col de Torini, famous mountain pass, and stage in the early Monte Carlo. Let's go right into setup then. These roads are smooth tarmac, so something very similar to Spain should be the starting point. Loading up a Spanish setup is not possible for some strange reason though, so just create a replication of it. This will be our starting point. It is not as easy as in the last guide with the United States, since here we should make some more changes to the setup. The Alpine roads have an interesting character, being split almost in half. The lower areas are completely free, smooth yet narrow tarmac roads. The upper parts are still those same roads, but now covered with a significant layer of snow and ice. Now the first thing to do is raising and softening the car. Just a tiny bit though. This compensates the slightly less refined road surface and the snowy areas, which benefit from just a bit more height. The next point is lowering the gear ratio. You will not even get close to the speed from Spain here, so focus on acceleration. Now the difficult bit, differentials. In Spain I recommended an open differential, which is good as long as the tires have same and high grip levels. Since we are not driving on studs here, one could argue the ice has actually the lowest possible grip though. If we would drive with open diffs from Spain over those ice patches, we create vastly different rotation speeds between the wheels. Most notably and off-throwing in the transition areas, where you drive on part tarmac and part ice patch. The engine spins the wheel with low grip as fast as it can, but no power goes to the wheel that actually has grip. This demands a locking diff. A highly locked diff also makes it easier to maintain drifts on the snowy upper parts. But you actually don't want that for the dry lower parts. I always try to drive smooth on the tarmac and not slide unnecessarily. So what Monte Carlo needs is a compromise. Some setting in between, where you can maintain smoothness on the low altitude and also achieve stability and acceleration on the ice. I tend to go slightly more towards open here, as I find it easier to push for time on the tarmac than on the snow, but this is personal preference. This diff setting will not be the best for the low altitude, and also not be the best for the snow, but you have to drive the whole stage with one setup, so a workable compromise is the way to go. Actually, if you really want to optimize, you could create a second Monte setup just for the low tarmac, a direct copy from Spain. There are 4 short stages on the low parts only, with minimal snow. But whenever using this, you should make sure there is no snowy stage until the next service park. Personally, I prefer to just use one setup for the whole event and don't worry about it. That's it for setups. Let's head into the driving aspects. The lower parts are driven like Spain, nothing more to say. Watch out not to drift through the hairpins, it will slow you down. Actually, in all-wheel drive it could work faster sometimes, but certainly not in the other direction. Once you encounter the first ice patches, things start to get demanding. Now, in Dirt Rally 2, they really improve the different grip levels, and you will feel for sure when one of your wheels hits ice while the other is on tarmac. This requires constant counter movements to keep the vehicle on the road. The time it gets ice deep, I start with blipping the pedals. Small inputs in quick sequence, always feeling how the car reacts and adjusting the next blips accordingly. Keep it straight and keep the wheel spinning, especially when braking. It's a balancing act. That's why I tone it down on the ice, just trying to get through smoothly. My motto for the French Alps would be: gain time on the dry tarmac and don't lose time on the ice. It actually gets easier again once you reach the full covered parts high up in the mountain. You have very little grip and will slide a lot, but it is much more predictable again. Now you need to bring out your inner Tokyo drifter and smoothly slide along, chaining drifts together. Don't be afraid to use the handbrake on the ice, especially if you are not in a rear-wheel drive vehicle. I made a handbraking guide before, so I will leave a link in the upper corner. Be careful with snow-covered roadside barriers all along though. Hitting those in a bad angle can easily catapult your vehicle into the abyss below. Best is to just stay away from them. What makes driving Monte so unique is the duality of it. It is a very mixed event, almost equally split between two very opposing driving styles. Being comfortable with both of them is required to be successful here, and it is easily the most demanding tarmac location in the game. As always, practice is key. So, I wish you improving success on the way to master this mountain. If this was useful, maybe consider subscribing to catch the next guide. Until then, cheers!